What's up, guys? Decided to make another video. I had a lot of fun trying to think about characters for offlane, jungle, um, and really wanted to tackle mid lane, carry. I even made a support character too. So let's see. I want to know what you think. Maybe you can come up with some other ideas, but I really went hard for this one because I also designed their abilities. And for the first character that I thought of is a Marine soldier. So someone straight out of Vietnam, a badass M16, has a clip, so you're gonna need to reload. Shoots slower but hits harder. Um, and when I first thought about that, I thought about Small Soldiers, a movie from the '90s, classic. I thought of that flat top, gray hair, badass. Kind of like the guy from Pandora. Not Pandora. It was literally in the world Pandora, but Avatar the movie. You remember that guy with the gray hair? Evil motherfucker. He was definitely a perfect like setup for this character. Like, definitely what I think about. But another way you could take it is Arnold in the movie Commando. You know, guns out, vest. This guy's loaded up. He's got his M16. Got the minigun ready on the back. And then that's what I thought of when the ultimate. The ultimate should be something badass, but definitely more like this design would be more cool. Maybe not the helmet, maybe the helmet, I don't know. But when I first thought of this character, the first thing I thought about, other than like the small soldiers, was a minigun. Now imagine your ultimate. You're in a group fight, you pull out a fucking minigun, and then you just start unloading on people. So to start, for his abilities, has an M16 with clip, shoots slower but hits harder, like I said before. Alternate, unlimited ammo, no reload, and physical damage buff, but for limited time and only applies to yourself. Primary, shrapnel grenade does area damage. You bite the pin off and throw it, which is so sick. Secondary, march on, a rally cry that shields yourself and nearby enemy heroes. Like, that's so badass. You can try and do both, your alternate and secondary. But the minigun, god damn, that's sick. And for my next character, I thought of an alien. Simple enough, but an iconic character, and would be really cool in Predecessor. Like a kooky character, he's got that little doofy ray gun, and you think it's all fun and games, but he actually hits hard and has some crazy abilities. First off, most people think iconic green alien. I think it should be a gray alien because Narbash is already green. So a gray, and a lot of people call them grays, would be really cool. But something with a little armor. I don't want him to be butt naked because a lot of these images, like, they depict aliens as butt naked. But I want something like traditional gray alien head, big eyes, crazy looking ray gun, a little bit of armor, and just really kooky attacks. But like this one, you know what I mean? Get some pants, dude. I don't know what you're doing. But the head is sick. The head's perfect. Ray gun, kind of alright. Oh, not that crazy. I want a little more kooky. But this character is perfect. I want, obviously, the coloring to be different. But the design itself with the armor, the classic alien head, really kicks ass. And he's doofy. He's a little kooky. I want him to be funny. Look at this guy. He's all over the place. But like that design would be sick. Maybe a little difference on the armor, but the head is perfect. So it's like a little original, a little traditional, a good combo of both. He's from the future, quote unquote. They're more, I should say, in tech. So, but I don't want Black Ops Zombies ray gun. This ray gun, no thanks. It's not doofy enough. I want Marvin the Martian ray gun. I want something weird looking. You're just gonna see it and be like, what? What is this guy? And then he hits you hard as hell. And I thought about his ultimate. His ultimate, we're gonna get into, but basically it's something where he can pull all enemy heroes into the ship, like beam them up, like abduct them, and then blow up the ship. So for the abilities, alien, ray gun wielding, heavy hitting with no reload, alternate telekinesis. So hand out, offhand, kind of like a force choke, stuns an enemy within range. Primary, shoot a large orb from ray gun, explodes on impact, pushes back enemies, kind of like Grimm's assault mode shot. Secondary, shoot a continuous laser beam for a limited time that hurts all in its path and passes through enemies. So it'll always be shooting as far as it can, but everything in the beam will get hit. Ultimate hops into the spaceship, hovers well above ground, beams up all enemy heroes, and the ship self-destructs. That would be so sick. I would love to see that. And for my next character, I went, another iconic kind of style character is a Native American. Native American, really grounded, would fit really well with Predecessor. And in my idea for the Native American, I want like a Comanche, Apache, like that style badass warrior. And I want him to have 2 throwing axes in his hands. And obviously, you just keep getting throwing axes out of nowhere, but you're going to throw them each from each hand. But something like this design would be sick. You can already kind of like see him holding those 2 axes, and just make him a badass mid laner where, he's up in your face, he's throwing axes at you, doing some interesting abilities that actually have healing effects also. So definitely a little different than most mid laners. But this design, perfection. That is perfect and exactly what I was thinking when I thought of this character. Total badass. And for his abilities, a Native American, wielding throwing axes in each hand with some heavy healing abilities. Alternate double dash in any direction. You can do this one time, but if you choose to do it a second time, it gives you shield and costs double the mana. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, but it can be worth it in a pinch. Primary, throws a club from back and hurts all in path, but stops stuns hitting a hero. So it doesn't stop stun minions like Terra, but different. Secondary, lock onto an enemy hero and call upon an eagle to swoop down and claw everything in its path. It heals with damage to hero. So imagine a bald eagle just coming down, it's hitting everything in its path. So it's kind of like Revenant's missiles, but a little different. It will hit minions and heroes that are in its path as well when it's about to swoop down. So very interesting. Ultimate, ancestral attack, ghosts of past native warriors on horseback damage enemies in path and heals hero for each enemy hero damage. So imagine all these ghosts of warriors from Native American life just coming down. It would be so sick, just stampeding. Oh, it'd be awesome. And then the next character that I thought of would be a Dracula vampire. So off the gate, the OG design is very iconic, but I don't think that's the move. If Predecessor was going to add a character like this, I think the move would be the beast form of Dracula. So not really wearing a suit and all that stuff. I want that monster. That monster with the ears, crazy big fangs, claws, wings even. I mean, Sarath has wings. Why can't Dracula? And I want him to be floating. I want him to float. Like in Skyrim, I don't know if anyone's ever played that. When you can become a vampire, you can have like a floating ability too. But definitely something like this, like beast form, up in your face, real scary, would be really interesting. I would love to see a character like that doing lifesteal damage, almost all doing lifesteal. But this would be the design I would pick. Make him have some crazy hair, or maybe no hair at all, but like wings, claws, teeth, just right in your face, scary. And for his abilities, Dracula Vampire, life-stealing tank with long claws and fangs. Alternate, a large dome of evil energy, life-stealing all enemies in its area. Pretty self-explanatory, real interesting. Primary, a claw strike, knocking back all enemies, doing physical damage, so kind of like steel. Secondary, lock onto a hero, grab them, bite down on their neck, dealing physical damage and lifesteal. So a little homage to an actual vampire. So that would be really interesting, almost like Countess. Ultimate, summon a large group of bats, pulling all nearby enemies in middle and doing physical damage with lifesteal. So almost like Batman, you're pulling them all in and the bats are swarming them. It might be harder to see, and then all of a sudden, you got your team with you after you pulled them in. They're taking lifesteal. For every hero that you hit, you get more lifesteal. And I just really would love a character like that, a support where, it's almost a little scary looking like Sevrog, but you could actually play it as support because it is a support character. Would be so sick. That probably my favorite on the list. That or maybe the alien. So let me know what you guys think. If there's anything you would do differently, or maybe some other characters, let me know. Have a good day.